Hi everyone. I am back to London after a small period of around 3 weeks in Paris to get myself sorted and to do also stuff in relation to my practice as a lawyer for the entertainment industry. So I'm back to swinging London, which is fabulous, except that I received 3 visits from NHS checkers this week to basically to my property, to my house, to my home in London, checking that I was self-isolating. They came 3 times. And every day of the week, I received a call from the NHS tracking team, double checking that I was self-isolating and taking my COVID test at day 2 and soon at day 8 of my return back to London. Unbelievable. The invasion of a state into the life of citizens living in this country, and it's the same in France, to be honest, is just out of it's just out of proportion and unreasonable. So I mean, this obviously made it quite a stressful week, this and other stuff as well. But I'm back and I'm feeling great. Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about what's happening at the moment. Well, what's happening at the moment is that the economy is basically on a standstill. I mean, almost. Yes, it's, retail shops, etc. are coming back to life, springing back to life after quite a few months where they were closed. But the economy, trade shows and bigger projects, like more long-term projects, etc., are just on a standstill. So there's this need to kickstart the economy again, and that is painful. The the month of May 2021 in particular was very, very slow for us, but also for our clients. I mean, it's a tough time, much more than in 2020, because there was still quite a lot of stuff in the pipeline and work in the pipeline for our clients, for us. But this year, because everything is grounded to an halt and has been grounded to an halt for quite a few months, things are slow. And I think that it's the best moment, perhaps, to do your spring clean, so to speak. So, for example, if you decide that you're going to go paperless, it's the right time to scan and organize all your office documents and office space, and also make sure that everything is saved on the cloud, and that you basically are, for example, that could be a good way to allocate your time at the moment if there aren't many business activities going on. I think another great project would also be perhaps to refine your business plan for the next 5 years or to 10 years. That would be a good idea also to have a moment where you actually review your objectives and etc. and what you want to achieve in the next 5 years. Basically, yeah, you have to, for very creative people, it could be also a good idea, for example, to go into creative endeavors which require a sort of minimum amount of means to basically realize the creative undertaking. So, for example, comic books at the moment have been published at a very, very high rate because comic designers and writers have been basically self-isolating like all of us for the last 6 months to a year. So they only need their grey cells, their brain, to write the scripts and the scenarios to their stories, and also basically the drawing skills to draw the comics. So comics books have been coming out at a very hasty pace in the last year or so, and also a lot of documentaries made with archives, with historical archives, are coming out as well. For example, there was one very interesting about Martin Luther King, which came I think which came out at the end of last year in the US and beginning of 2021 in Europe, in the UK and the rest of Europe, and which had quite a lot of interesting revelations actually about Martin Luther King and his private life. So a lot of documentaries at the moment made with historical archives are coming out, because basically it's just a matter of going to a place and digging into the archives and then doing the editing bit, and also of course writing the script of a documentary. So yeah, there's a lot of work going on in this stage at the moment in the audiovisual industry. And of course, writers. Lots of books have been written during the pandemic, and lot of people have had time to read books. So for creative industries, actually, certain creative fields, gaming has actually become the biggest creative sector, because a lot of people had a lot of time. They bought games for their computer devices, etc. during the pandemic, and gaming has actually boomed up to the roof, really, during the pandemic. So what has been difficult, of course, is doing shoots for new films, new series. So that has been complicated and way more expensive, because it's difficult to get insured, and also you have to put in place very complex and expensive health and safety measures and with COVID. So that has suffered. Of course, all the art galleries were closed. To be honest, I couldn't really feel sorry for them, because the art galleries, I see them either in, on Bond Street, when I go to all these places in London and Paris where there are the galleries, or I see them at the Frieze and Parisian trade shows, Paris Photo and TEFAF also in I think it's in Strasbourg in France. Anyway, so I go to all these places and I see these art galleries, and they are so disdainful. They're so full of disdain for everyone, except for Russian billionaires who can, splurge on all their stuff, and they make such easy money. So anyway, it was difficult for me to feel any sympathy for art galleries, to be honest. But yeah, they have suffered a lot because they couldn't do any other trade shows, so they tried to do some virtual rooms, for during, for example, Basel Art Fair, etc. It's not really working out. I looked at these virtual rooms, but you can't really see the artworks. So I don't think it's been a very massive success. But as I said, the book publishing and comics publishing, and also gaming industry have really made the most of the pandemic and lockdowns. So depending on your creative field, either you can keep on having your creative endeavors, or it is the right moment to, as I was saying, doing some sprinkling projects or strategizing for your business, medium term, long term, and taking care of yourself, of your mental health, physical health, etc., so that you last the distance. And it's been a very demanding week this week, I think for quite a lot of us, especially for me, because I'm a Gemini, so I always get, tough stuff to digest around the time of my birthday. It is what it is. So, so this is a moment where communication is going to increase. It's a Gemini area, so make the most of it. Bye for now.